Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and if this is not a late video, this should be going out on New Year's, which is today, I think? I don't know. Yeah, it's today. I just looked. But anyway, this should be going out today, unless I'm late on editing it, which hopefully I'm not. But today I'm going to be going over 5 things that I think should be added or changed in Identity V for 2022. So in the year of 2022, these are 5 things basically that I'm just hoping will either come to be into the game or be fixed about the game. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off with number 5, something I would really like, and I'm not sure how many other people agree with this, but I think the game needs a complete gameplay overhaul. I think there needs to be just a load of balance changes for every character, and, you know, just shake up the meta completely, make it something new, make it something fresh, because, I mean, and one of the things I've learned, or not learned, but one of the reasons I started my Worker Be to Peak tier series, which you should go watch, by the way. One of the reasons I started that is just because I was so bored with playing with like 6 survivors and 3 hunters, the same pool every single game, because it's such a small pool. Also, a lot of hunters have been just left behind because of the power creep of both factions. So, you know, hunters like Clown, why the fuck would you ever play Clown these days? Like, Clown was good back in the day, and he's a perfect example of just how much power creep really has happened. There's basically these days just a better version of Clown, aka Breaking Wheel. It's just a modern day Clown, because that's what he needs to be good at this point. I'd really like to see the developers just go in and, you know, tweak a lot of the older hunters, maybe bring them up to speed, maybe bring a couple of the better hunters down, and nerf, like, the best 10 survivors, nerf them into the ground, and make a new meta for that faction as well. Like, I think that would be fantastic. Also, a few maps could use better gameplay in them, but that's not really super relevant. Number 4 would be less events, but when there are events, make them a lot bigger, more engaging, and just better in general. The way I see events right now in the game is that they're just, I don't know, they're thrown in there, and they're not that big, and they're not that fun to play. They just give you a few rewards and you're done. I wish we would have less events in the game, like, not an event for like every little thing, but maybe just one or a couple big events, kind of like Koa, but, you know, make Koa something huge, you know, build a lot of hype, maybe, you know, do some extra stuff with it, you know, instead of just being like, oh, trade around some apples, there you go. It just feels like there could be a lot more hype and a lot more cool stuff done with a huge event than like the loads and loads of tiny little events with like 30 clue milestone rewards that we get. Maybe that's just me though. Number 3, we're having a better tutorial. I cannot stress enough how bad the tutorial is for this game. And there really, really should be something better. Honestly, the tutorial these days, it teaches you how to play, kind of. It teaches you how to move your character around, and how to rescue, and how to decode. So it teaches you how to play, I guess, but it doesn't teach you how to play well. And it doesn't teach you how to play properly. And a lot of that has to come from you just, you know, playing the game and, you know, people telling you what the proper thing to do is. Like, the game doesn't really tell you that, you know, this is how you prime a cipher, this is how you rescue before half, you know, stuff like that. It doesn't tell you that. That's something you have to figure out. And those 2 things, as an example, are so core to the game at this point, and will probably never change. Those really should be implemented in a tutorial, or an advanced tutorial at least, just something. Because You know, a lot of the time, again, with my Worker Bee 2 peak tier series, that I'm seeing a lot of people, oh, I don't know what a primed cipher is, you know? A lot of stuff like that, you know? Also just stuff like use your abilities and whatnot. Like, the game doesn't really teach you how to do a lot of things. It teaches you how to kind of play a little bit, but not much. But the worst part is, you feel like you're playing properly when you play like that, even though you're really not. And it's just, it creates a big mess. I think, you know, this one's pretty, you know, pretty much everybody would agree. We just really need a better tutorial in the game. Number five, what am I talking about? Number 2, for me, would just be more use for clubs and guilds. You know, to me, especially clubs feel just completely useless. You use them like once or twice during like the Koa time, and then they're just not used for anything else. Like, I play on NAEU, so this potentially could be different for other servers, because they seem to be a thing used for competition, but over here, it's just, you join one and it does absolutely nothing. It is there, and that's it. And guilds are kind of the same thing, although you do get a guild chat. Well, you get a club chat as well that, you know, isn't ever used. But I mean, guild chat is used more. There can be more people in a guild, and there is an actual reason to joining a guild, which is like, you know, 5v5. You know, there's actual guild modes. But what I would really like and think would be cool is if they kind of merged the idea of clubs and guilds. Like, you could just honestly scrap the whole idea of clubs, to be completely honest, and just make, you know, one guild, and then within that guild raise the max amount of people to like 100 or something. Make it a little bit bigger, maybe like 70, something like that, and then add like 7 slots for like a competitive team. You know, make that a rank. You know, make, you know, a couple of other ranks, and it could just, those two things just feel really weird separately, and there isn't a lot done with them. There could be a lot more done with competitions and whatnot. But again, that might be different on other servers. I'm not too sure. And lastly here we have number 1, which is a proper reporting system and actual anti-cheat. This might be a weird one to a lot of people to put as number 1, but I've heard this is a way more prominent issue on other servers other than NAEU, but playing in low ranks, low, you know, like Worker Bee rank, dog rank, there's so many hackers. Like, there are so many. And like, I know that's a little bit weird coming from me because I do dabble around a little bit with that stuff myself. But come on, there is so many, and like, I can tell you that the game just doesn't have an anti-cheat, basically. It might as well not, if there is one, because it doesn't work. There are so many, you know, and I'm not saying this so you should go download one of these. It's probably full of viruses, but there are so many ways to download and just cheat in the game with zero repercussions, except for player reports. Player reports are like the only thing which are hardly ever followed up on as well, I should add. But you can go and you can hack, and unless a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, report you, you're not going to be taking a ban because there's zero anti-cheat for it. You could be like Sonic speed crawling across the map, basically teleporting. And that's a really simple thing to implement, by the way, let me tell you. That would be really simple to implement, something that would just, you know, detect that you're going an absolutely ludicrous speed and not let you do that. But no, yeah. So there you go, that's my top 5 things that really should, you know, be changed and implemented. in 2022. If you have other things or want to add on top of my own things, then definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. I will try and respond to them, but I will 100% read them as long as it's like, within a reasonable time of this video's publishing. But anyway, there are links in the description you should click. I wanted to make this less than 10 minutes, but I failed, so I'm just going to end it now. Goodbye.